The second that San Diego Comic-Con happened and Marvel did their panels and announced that Robert Downey Jr. would return to the MCU as Victor Von Doom, the rumors about Superior Iron Man started flying again. Now the question is there any validity to these? And that's what we're going to talk about today, because I have some theories and ideas on how this may actually end up being true this time. Welcome to the multiverse, everybody. Jimmy here. Thank you for all the support on the channel. Thank you to everybody that saw a video in their sub box after 2 years and clicked on it and got involved with the relaunch of the multiverse. I appreciate you guys. Daily multiverse content. That means mostly Marvel. We will be covering DC. We actually have a Batman video going up very soon, and the occasional TV show, depending on if it's something that we think you guys would enjoy. But today, it's all about Tom Cruise. And if you don't know what happened with the Multiverse of Madness, let me catch you up really quick. Most of you know, you've probably Googled and seen all of these fan casting pictures and photos and AI of Tom Cruise as Superior Iron Man. And the rumor was that he was going to be featured in the Multiverse of Madness. And it really, now that we look back, it made sense, because the Illuminati, they were kind of iffy, you know? I mean, they were there, they were doing their thing, but I could have seen him being a part of that. And what I mean is, Superior Iron Man is not really that good of a guy. If you've read the comics at all, you know what I mean. He was actually kind of a bad guy, to be honest with you. He was very full of himself and very, very self-motivated. And he would have maybe fit in with the agenda of what the Illuminati was all about. I don't know. The point is, it could have worked. And it didn't work. And we actually know now that they talked about it. The writers talked about it, but nobody ever approached Tom Cruise. He was busy filming one of his Mission Impossible movies, and he actually never even got the offer for the cameos. So that whole time, all the videos being made saying he's in there, it wasn't even put out there to him to have the chance not to. But here is where it gets interesting, because there is history with Tom Cruise and the MCU and Iron Man. And that is why there could be a chance that Kevin Feige really tries to make it happen this time. They have been knocking fan castings out of the park. I mean, spoiler alert for Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm sure you've probably seen it by now, but the Calverine is an awesome cameo. All the different cameos that we saw in Deadpool, just killing it, just absolutely crushing it and owning it. Gratuitous cameos. They're owning it. They're not trying to shy away from what the movie was about. So, with that being said, Iron Man, Tom Cruise tried out, auditioned for Iron Man. He could have been your Iron Man instead of Robert Downey Jr. for the last 15 years, but it didn't work out. But that doesn't mean that Kevin Feige doesn't remember it or isn't going to try to find a spot for the megastar to play an alternate version, to play a variant of Iron Man. What better time than right now in the multiverse saga? What better time than right now with Robert Downey Jr. coming back as the face of Victor Von Doom? So we're going to go over how this could actually happen this time. And there have been multiple outlets covering it, and it was kind of auto. What I mean by that is default. As soon as we got the announcement of Robert Downey Jr., you knew all these outlets were going to pick this story back up and run with it, because it's Tom Cruise. I mean, Tom Cruise in an MCU movie as Superior Iron Man, or even another Iron Man variant, not even necessarily superior, is massive. Massive, massive for views and clicks. And if it ended up happening, it would be a huge thing. So of course they're going to pick it up. And one of the big leakers out there, My Time to Shine Hello, who I know other people have said this too, track record was just spot on in the early years. And as we've gone, not quite as much, hit or miss. But then again, when you're dropping stuff that are leaks and scoops, some of it's going to change. Some of it's going to make you look like you didn't get it right, even though at the time you leaked it, you could have gotten it right. So, of course, I give you the default. Take it with a grain of salt. But My Time to Shine said they are definitely going to try again. They are trying again to get Tom Cruise's Iron Man as a variant for the Avengers films. Now, here is why I think it could happen, but it's going to be different this time around. There's so many different plot theories. We've covered multiple ones ourselves. How we go from Fantastic Four into Avengers Doomsday. We've got videos coming out almost daily about this, and we've got some out as well. And one of the big plot theories was that Doom, RDJ, is actually kind of a good guy all the way through Fantastic Four. And he's actually maybe not even necessarily a bad guy going into Avengers Doomsday. You have to remember, this is an Avengers movie. Everybody's thinking Doomsday, and it's just the Doom movie, but there has to be an Avengers team up. And the big guess in my mind is that Victor is going to come through with the face of Tony Stark, and he may even try to trick him. He may even act like he's an Iron Man variant and trick maybe Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and some others, and then start doing what Doom does best. Splitting, dividing, and conquering, and weaponizing. Creating those rifts between the characters to kind of embolden himself and empower himself up, because he has to get where he needs to get by the time we're getting Battleworld. So that could be one way it happens. But if that's how it happens, we still kind of need another Iron Man somewhere, right? Now, if we get the ultimate payoff, and in Secret Wars Part 1 or 2, whatever, when we get, if the theory comes through that Victor was actually in Tony Stark's body from the What If comic line, if you want to check that video out, it's up on the channel as well, and somehow Tony gets his body back and becomes an Iron Man variant again and kills Doom, that would put Tony killing Doom and Thanos, and that would be crazy, because RDJ would have created, basically launched the MCU, then he would have been the ultimate part of the end of the Infinity Saga, and then he would be the culmination, good and bad, of the Multiverse Saga, which is also kind of the MCU's first saga. All of it together. He would have been at the beginning all the way to the end before we get that soft reboot or reset or whatever we're going to get. That is truly special. But you have to have Iron Man in the mix. With movies that are dependent on variants and different timelines and universes, we're going to see heroes from across the board when it comes to alternate variants. You've got to have an Iron Man in there somewhere. Some people would say, oh, it'll be Ironheart. No, it has to be an Iron Man. And what better spot to do it than to bring Tom Cruise in as an Iron Man variant, whether it be for Avengers Doomsday, whether it be for the first or second part of Secret Wars until we get our Iron Man back. It makes sense. Does it make sense to make him superior Iron Man? No, it doesn't. We don't need a bad Iron Man, because there's a decent chance we're going to have a bad Iron Man with the face of Tony Stark, but he's actually Victor Von Doom inside there. So we don't really need to double down on a superior Iron Man. I think that has gone and passed. They had the window, and that window is now closed. But we could definitely have a good version, variant Iron Man with Tom Cruise's face be part of the mix moving forward. Heck, you introduce him in Avengers Doomsday, and then he becomes at least a decent part of the plot and role throughout Secret Wars and Secret Wars 2. It could definitely happen. Now, what will probably happen is, if this ends up coming true at all, is we'll probably get him as a cameo, and it probably won't have much weight with the story, and people will get the payoff, and it'll be, oh, he auditioned for Iron Man back in 1998, and now it comes full circle, and we get a cool cameo with Tom Cruise, one of the biggest movie stars in the world. That's pretty awesome. That's what most of the bettors are probably going to say happens, but I think they have the opportunity here to actually make him relevant in this storyline. You need some type of structured kind of anchor, not anchor being necessarily, but you need an Iron Man in the mix if you're going to have Avengers movies. And it can be a variant. You can pretty much do whatever you want. We've already proved that they're not going to mess up the legacy of our Tony Stark sacrificing himself for the universe. We know that. They knocked it out of the park with Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoiler alert again. They even used his dead bones as an action sequence to start the movie off, which was awesome. But it didn't do anything to mess up his legacy. So they've got that. They know how to do that magic sauce. Kevin Feige has said, we figured it out. We just have to take love and care with how we do it. And he was specifically talking about RDJ as Iron Man and Chris Evans as Captain America. So I think those days are gone where we're like, no, you can't bring in Tom Cruise to be Iron Man. Tony Stark, RDJ was the only Iron Man. There can't be another one. We're past that. That's in the rearview mirror. So my prediction is we will see Tom Cruise in an Iron Man suit, whether it be a quick cameo or whether it be a small role in some part of this grand scheme that's going to be happening leading up to Secret Wars. Will he be Superior Iron Man in that classic silver suit? I don't think so. I think he's going to be donned in the red and gold or the red and silver, whichever suit you want to use. And I think he's actually going to be a friendly variant Tony Stark. Let me know what you guys think. It's going to be a wild ride over the next 3 years regardless. And I'll see you guys soon.